Bothered because people tend to dislike it when they cannot alter the state of your reality. When you're going back and forth, or you respond to somebody, or you make a video responding to someone saying something negative about you, you're allowing your energy to be siphoned, and that person is feeding on you like a vampire. Women tend to deal with things that they don't have to deal with. That's what I've noticed about women. Women tend to overcomplicate things that are rather simple. When you disengage, you disarm. You disarm people when you stop responding to them. You stop arguing with them. You stop texting them back when they're sending you crazy texts. Hi guys, welcome back to Your Level Up Guru. If you are not subscribed to this channel and you truly want to support this channel, definitely like and subscribe to this channel. So today we are going to be talking about a very important subject, and that is how to be as unbothered as possible. Now, someone like me that was super freaking bothered years and years ago, I have learned the art of being unbothered, because being unbothered makes your life a lot easier than being bothered. If you struggle with anxiety, if you struggle with insecurity, if you struggle with caring about how people think, being unbothered is definitely going to help alleviate those type of struggles that you may be dealing with. Now, I will tell you this. A lot of people may say that you are selfish, narcissistic, you don't care about anybody but yourself, you're all about you when you are unbothered, because people tend to dislike it when they cannot alter the state of your reality. That really bothers people when they realize that this girl doesn't care what I do. She's still gonna keep going and doing what makes her happy. A lot of people don't like that. You know, they want to have the power to interrupt and disrupt the climate of your life. So let's talk about being unbothered. These are some of the tips that I use. So the first thing is, everyone is projecting. You shouldn't care. At this age, I realize that everybody's projecting. I think that I have realized that based on the field that I work in. People are projecting. That's really all people do. People have their traumas, their insecurities, and when they meet other people, they are going to respond to you based on their trauma and insecurities. That is what I've learned about people. That's why I don't allow people's actions to affect me, because I know that they are responding from their own traumas or insecurities. That is the lens that people view you from. So let's say a girl is insecure about the way that she looks, and you are beautiful, and you walk into a room and this girl is either in your family, in your workplace, at the grocery store, at the gym. The minute you walk in, she's going to have a problem with you. It's not that you did anything wrong, it's that she's viewing you from her lens of her own insecurities. So am I gonna make another woman's insecurities my problem? Not going to happen. Your insecurities are your problem. I'm not going to make it my problem. And a lot of them will try to make it your problem by triggering you, bullying you, by trying to get a reaction out of you, by disrespecting. They will try to make their insecurity your problem. That is what I've realized about women. Women will try to make other women be responsible for their own insecurities. I don't allow that in my space. I'm very solid and concrete on what I allow, especially when it comes to women. So being unbothered is understanding that people are projecting. You know, like, people are always going to project their trauma and insecurities onto other people. They're viewing other people from the lens of their reality, not yours. A lot of women suffer from low self-esteem, even if it's not looks related. They just have low self-esteem from daddy issues, experiences with their family, and when they meet you, they make you a target. So basically, they're making you responsible for their insecurities and their traumas, and I don't allow it. So I remain unbothered by just ignoring people who try to trigger me because they're at war with themselves. It's not going to happen. So that's rule number one, is not taking it personally when people do things, because they are viewing you from their traumatic and insecurity lens, and the lens of what they've been through. It has nothing to do with you. The next thing on how to be as unbothered as possible is to live in your alternate reality. That's a very big part about remaining as unbothered as possible. For me, I can honestly say that I daydream a lot. I am a daydreamer. I can be just sitting and in a room where there's an event or there's something going on, and I'll immediately start daydreaming about my alternate reality. And I'm not going to share what my alternate reality is because that's my privacy, but I will sit there and just daydream about my dream life, like everything, like where I'm living, where I'm staying, the car I'm driving, the person I'm with, family, where I'm going, my hobbies. Like I constantly do that. It's not always great, because sometimes, I don't know, I'm in my head a lot, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing, but I remain as unbothered by not paying attention too deeply to what's going on around me in the most responsible way, because everybody's living in their own reality, and there's nothing wrong with daydreaming. I think daydreaming is a very positive thing. It's like, you manifest things into your life when you're constantly daydreaming about what you want. It'll come quicker because mentally that's where you are. You're in your alternate reality. So that's number 2 on how to be unbothered. Number 3 on how to be unbothered is to disengage immediately. Block, delete, move on. Block, delete, move on. I sometimes in the past have triggered people because they wanted to engage in an argument with me, and if you want to engage in anything that's going to require my energy, that's going to require you to pay me. I don't allow people to harvest my energy and use it for themselves. I don't allow energy harvesting, which is why there are certain things that a lot of people believe in that I don't believe in. I'm not going to go in depth with that, but I don't believe in energy harvesting, which is why I don't go to concerts. I don't ever go to concerts. You know, I don't go to places where there's large crowds of people, because I don't need anybody trying to draw from me, if that makes sense. So I literally disengage immediately. So the minute I realize that somebody is trying to get a reaction out of me, trigger me, or somebody is trying to get a negative response out of me, you wake up blocked. You're blocked, period. You'll never hear from me again, because why are you trying to get a negative response out of me? That's unhealthy. And that's something that I think a lot of you guys need to learn. Your family members who are bringing up sensitive topics during the holidays, purposefully asking you inappropriate questions. People know what they're doing when they're trying to get you to feel a feeling that is unpleasant. So I stay away from people who want to trigger negative reactions out of me, because you want me to be under stress. And what does stress do? Stress brings illness. In case you ladies didn't know, stress brings illness. So when you're constantly around family or friends, or even you're in a relationship with a man who is stressing you out, you will start to notice symptoms in your physical body of what they're doing to you. So as somebody who works in the field that I work in, where I see people who have thrown their life away to drugs and addiction and abuse, and people who have gotten essayed, and people who have gotten just people who have gotten a hard, we're dealt hard cards in life. My boundaries are so firm because of the field that I work in. And I know how dangerous it is to be around people who are triggering you long term, which is why I always encourage women to leave narcissistic relationships with narcissistic men. And I always encourage women to end friendships with people who want to get negative responses out of you, and women who are competing with you, because it will affect your health. You will get anxiety. You will start having depression. A lot of anxiety, depression, and mental health illnesses are stress induced. A lot of them are not natural. They're because of your environment. So I disengage with people who are trying to get a negative response or a negative reality out of me. I remember there was a situation that happened like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, where I was venturing into this certain industry and I was doing really well in this industry, and there was word that this industry may shut down or shrink in size. I had this family member that saw how good I was doing in this industry, and this family member never congratulated me, never said, hey, you're doing so good, never a congratulations. But the minute this family member heard word that the industry I was excelling in may shut down, this person called me on the phone and said, hey, and I'm like, hey, because remember I told you guys I don't talk to extended family. I'm like, hey, and she's like, oh my God, so I wanted to ask you, I know you're in so-and-so industry, aren't they about to shut down? And I'm like, yeah, they are, but I have other ventures, but I'm gonna call you right back. And I hung up the phone, and she's been blocked for the past 3 months. I didn't go to her, I didn't go to any of her celebrations, things that she invited my other family to. I'm like, this is just not somebody that I ever want to communicate with ever again. Because you didn't congratulate me, but you're calling me to tell me about something negative. And people who do that, they know what they're doing. They want to hurt you. I don't want people in my life who want to hurt me. That's my boundary. So she's done as far as my life. She's never going to be a part of my life ever again. But I'm just saying that you have to disengage with people like that. That's why I never understand people who argue with people online. When you're going back and forth, or you respond to somebody, or you make a video responding to someone saying something negative about you, you're allowing your energy to be siphoned, and that person is feeding on you like a vampire. I always tell people the best thing to do is to block people. Block and delete. Like, my parents would always get mad at me because they're like, you're always blocking people. Like, why are you always blocking family? Why are you always blocking this person or blocking that person? I'm like, because I block people online and in real life. It's very simple for me, because I come first, and my mental health comes first, and my peace comes first. And if that means blocking you, if that is the answer, then that is what I will do. For example, you guys know I'm very big on TikTok. Sometimes I'll have the same user spamming my whole page, spamming my videos, calling me out of my name, calling me all type of words, calling me a female dog, just spamming all of my videos. Trying to get my attention is really what they're doing. I have to block that person because you are trying to affect me negatively. And I didn't give them an energetic exchange by responding to them. My response was blocking them. So if you want to remain unbothered, you have to disengage immediately. You have to block, delete, and move on. The minute you walk into an environment where you feel unwelcomed, you are greeted with negative energy. You are greeted with people who are disrespectful. You pick up your bag and you leave. You don't engage with that. What I notice about women is that women tend to deal with things that they don't have to deal with. That's what I've noticed about women. Women tend to overcomplicate things that are rather simple. For example, I'll have a woman email me or message me or be on the group live chat and say, hey, this friend treats me bad and I want to stop talking to them. What do I do? Stop talking to them? You just answered your own question. And as women, we tend to do this a lot, and I include myself. As women, we tend to overcomplicate things that are simple. And we tend to allow people to overstay their stay in our lives instead of cutting the cord early on. So if you want to be unbothered, you have to learn how to disengage the minute that something is becoming negative or something is beginning to affect you negatively. My best advice is to disengage with that thing or to disengage with that person, because when you disengage, you disarm. You disarm people when you stop responding to them. You stop arguing with them. You stop texting them back when they're sending you crazy texts. When someone is sending you crazy texts or doing things to get a negative response out of you, it's best to disengage with that person. And when you disengage, and disarm, you also defeat that person because they have no power over you anymore. The next thing to be as unbothered as possible is you are your number one priority. Everything else is a distraction and not important. So sometimes in life, things are just a distraction. And you have to classify what's a distraction and what's a priority. There are people who are a distraction. There are situations that are a distraction, that is distracting you from what's important. I have had scenarios where I'm working on something super important, whether it's a project or something of some sort, and I will have some random person from my past, and this has been happening to me a lot lately. I'll have a random person from my past saying, "Hey girl," or "Hey sexy," and I'm like, who is this? And it's like this person from my past, and I look at the message and I just read the message and I block them immediately, because you are just coming in to distract me from what I need to be focused on, right? So a lot of you guys, you'll notice that when you're healing and when you're doing better and when you're finally focused and you're finally balanced and you're finally grounded, that is when the toxic ex will try to spin the block, and a lot of you ladies fall for it. You're focused right now. We don't have time to think or focus on people from our past, because if they were of any good, they would still be around us. And if they're not, they should stay where they are, which is in the past. So yes, you have to prioritize yourself, and you have to prioritize your growth as an individual. So when you're prioritizing your growth as an individual, you don't put your focus on things and people who don't matter. Like I said, certain people will force themselves to matter to you. This is something that narcissistic family and narcissistic men and even narcissistic ex-friends do a lot, where you say, you know what, this isn't healthy, I'm gonna walk away from this, and it's almost like they won't let you walk away. Like I remember there was a time I had this friend in college who was so toxic. She was so jealous of me, so envious, so evil, was literally doing crazy things under the table that I didn't know about. And every time I tried to end the friendship, she would send me flowers. And every time I would try to end the friendship, she would send me a card or a gift. Or she'd say, let's go out to dinner. I want to make it up to you. Let me buy your dinner. And it's like, when you are becoming an unbothered person, certain people are going to be offended by your promptness to walk away. Because most people, let's be honest, most human beings tend to tolerate toxicity. Most people will stay in a toxic marriage, stay in a toxic relationship, stay in a toxic workplace. Humans have normalized toxicity, which is why when people meet people like me, they're like, oh, she's so mean. Because people are not used to someone saying, that's unhealthy and I don't want to deal with it. Or this person is not good for my life and I don't want them in my life anymore. Because so many people are tolerating toxicity in their lives. So when you don't want to tolerate it, you're seen as mean. When it's really the other way around, where you actually have self-love. And because you have self-love, that's the reason why you don't want to deal with toxicity. So being unbothered is putting yourself as your number one priority. You are your number one priority. You come first. The next thing is your energy is currency. Everything that flows out of you is currency, okay? So I actually posted this video on TikTok 2 weeks ago, and I told people to think about their energy like it's money. So when you go to the ATM and you withdraw your cash, do you just start throwing your cash on the floor like it's confetti? Like you go to the gas station, you're spreading your cash around. You're at the mall, you're just throwing your cash around, you're just giving it away. We don't do that, right? We keep our cash in our wallets, our cards in our wallets, and we swipe it based on what we deem qualified to make a purchase. Why are you not like that with your energy? My energy is currency. My attention is money. I don't just give it away to you because you want it. And that's a very important thing that women and men need to come to terms with, is treating your energy like it's your currency. This is money. My attention, my time, my conversation. I don't just give that away to people because that's a bad investment. And a lot of people don't understand that concept, but you have to think about yourself and your energy as $5 in singles, or like a bottle of water. So if you keep giving yourself away to bad investments or things that don't pour or contribute to your life, you're not going to have enough to give to people that matter. So the art of being unbothered is understanding that not everybody deserves your energy, not everybody deserves your attention, and not everybody deserves your conversation. Okay, so I have to ensure every day that I have enough gas in my tank energetically to work, to post videos, shoot videos, edit videos, to be the best I can for my family, to ensure that I can help my family and whatever it is that they need help with, to ensure that I have time to spend with God, and to ensure I have time to dedicate to my spirituality. If I'm giving myself away to everybody who wants to experience me or everybody who wants a piece of me, I'm not gonna have enough energy to give to people who matter. I'm not gonna have enough energy to give to people who matter. So it's not necessarily you being selfish. It's you understanding that you only have so much fuel in you, like a gas tank, and you are going to give yourself to things and people who matter. Okay? And the art of being unbothered is also understanding that sometimes people may be attracted to your energy and they feel like they're obligated to have it. Like, I've met certain people that feel like I'm obligated to acknowledge them. I'm obligated to be friends with them. I'm obligated to want some type of bond with them. I'm my keeper. I gatekeep myself. I engage with who I want to. Like, you don't have power over me. And I feel like that's something that everyone, but that's something that Black women, I think, experience the most in society, is that need for people to control you in some way. You will see this in the workplace. You will see this in religious organizations, churches. You will see this in your family. People are always looking for a way to have a Black woman in bondage or under their control. Which is why when a Black woman is quiet and minds her business, it irritates people so much, because they have no control over you when you are minding the business that pays you. So another way of being unbothered is understanding that your energy is yours. It's you are going to give it to things that matter, and you are going to ignore things that don't. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more of my videos, do not forget to subscribe and visit my page. Visit my website at yourlevelupguru.net to book your private girl chats. And also do not forget to follow me on Instagram and say, hey girl. So definitely check for all of my social media handles in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.